Democrats, look out. Your lies and denial that there's a crisis at the U.S.-Mexico southern border are undermined by reality. That's right, facts indeed matter.
Exposing lies, revealing truth. Here's the deal with Deneen Borelli.
The truth is our southern border is under siege with illegal migrants. There's a massive influx of people illegally crossing into the U.S. through the southern border. According to U.S. Customs and Border Protection, the rate of incidents is mind-blowing. Apprehensions, Border Patrol surpassed the 2018 numbers. Human smuggling attempts are foiled in the Rio Grande Valley. Rescues in places like Yuma, where sector agents continue to save lives while putting themselves at risk for the U.S. and its laws. Even drug seizures, including over $700,000 in fentanyl at Juarez-Lincoln Bridge. And the men, women, and children just keep on coming. Our government is continuing to warn us with reports of large groups of illegal aliens that continue to flow into the Rio Grande Valley, and even video evidence of the crisis. And that's just news for the month of April. Why the massive influx? Radical progressive policies are incentivizing illegal migrants to cross the U.S.-Mexico border. Democrats and their 2020 candidates actually support sanctuary cities. Bernie Sanders wants a Medicare for All plan to include health care for illegal immigrants. Our healthcare industry is already broken. Why would we prioritize people who aren't even Americans? People who don't pay taxes? People who have broken our laws by illegally stepping into our country? We can't afford to pay for health care for illegal immigrants. This is obvious, right? Nope. Because other Democratic presidential hopefuls are backing Sanders' plan, including Senators Kamala Harris, Kirsten Gillibrand, Elizabeth Warren, and Cory Booker. Gillibrand doesn't even think our border is a security issue.
Immigration is not a security issue. It is an economic and a humanitarian and a family issue. There is no such thing as an illegal human.
Immigration is not a security issue? Tell that to Evelyn Rodriguez, whose daughter was murdered by MS-13. How dare you? How dare you say immigration is not a security issue when gang members are crossing into our country and killing our children? The border wall isn't just securing the safety of Americans. The desert is a very dangerous place, yet radio ads and newspapers are encouraging women and children to cross the blistering southern desert. Ironically, some Democrats are starting to see the light. A liberal columnist for the New York Times visited the southern border and saw firsthand how out of control things really are.
I think you got to control the border. I'm for a high wall with a big gate, a compassionate, a smart gate, so we can keep immigration going. But you're not going to do that, Wolf, if people think people can just walk into this country.
Here's the deal. At the end of 2018, Democrats and the anti-Trump media blasted President Trump for closing down the federal government over funding for a border wall. When President Trump called it a crisis, Democrats fought back, saying it was a manufactured crisis. Nothing to see here, just move along. But over the past few months, the reality has become increasingly more difficult to ignore. And finally, the public is getting it. A new Washington Post ABC News poll reports 80% of adults see illegal immigration at the southern border as at least a serious problem. Here's the breakdown. 35% thinks it's a crisis, combined with 45% that think it's a serious problem, equals 80% think at least it's a serious problem. And it gets worse for Democrats. Just look at the rate of change from January. A 17% jump with Democrats seeing illegal immigration at the Mexico border as a crisis, and a 9% increase among independents. That's right, even Democrats and independents acknowledge the crisis. But the problem is, Democrat politicians got caught playing politics over border security. By trying to deny President Trump his campaign promise to secure our border, Democrats lied about the realities of the crisis. Despite the clear visual evidence and apprehension data from the U.S. Customs and Border Protection, Democrat politicians are not giving up and denying reality. They are doubling down on stupid and want to make the border crisis worse. 19 Senate Democrats want to limit Homeland Security's ability to deal with the crisis and co-signed a letter to the Senate Committee of Appropriations asking, limit the DHS Secretary's ability to transfer funds and reject President Trump's request to increase ICE personnel and detention beds and to fund the border wall. And progressive House freshmen, Congresswomen Omar, Ocasio-Cortez, Presley, and Tlaib co-authored a letter to House colleagues demanding not another dollar more in DHS funding. Unbelievable. These Democrat politicians are acting irrational, ignoring not just Republicans, but their own constituents, and putting the safety of Americans at risk. And for what? Their own anti-Trump political agenda. As the situation gets worse, more and more Americans will understand that Democrats will do anything to harm the president in their quest for power. I'm Deneen Borelli with BlazeTV.